Atari is celebrating its 50th anniversary by combining NFTs with loot boxes. So just as a side note, we have been avoiding NFTs. We'll give our views, like all our thoughts about it, but we've been avoiding it pretty much. And there's some big stories that have been coming out, as Swinny said earlier in the show, Quartz with Ubisoft. But when Atari, a lauded brand in gaming, one of the top brands, it's a totally different company now, but brands, comes out on their 50th anniversary, combining an NFT with a loot box. We just had to bring it up. We have to finally crack this nut. So they're teaming up with Republic Realm, one of the most active developers of the metaverse and NFT ecosystem. Wait, let me get through it. To sell off a collection of what is being dubbed GFTs. So the announcement follows modern Atari's other well-documented ventures, which include Atari Token, cryptocoin, and Atari Hotels.
Before we get too far away from that sentence, the term or the sentence, one of the most active. What is the word active? How do you quantify that? We have the most articles on the internet.
No, we're creating metaverses, baby. We've got 50 metaverses. Our metaverses have got metaverses to each other.
That reads almost as ambiguous as Mike's resolutions last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, maybe I should go make some NFTs.
Where did that come from? Damn, he just fucking boom goes the dynamite. Man, that's just uncalled for. That's disgusting. Shit,
we need an asshole meter that we can keep track of summers and overlay. And you can go ding, and it just adds to the counter. Ding, adds to the counter.
I'm 99% sure I said to you guys, if we had an alternative podcast, it's like two assholes and a dickhead, right? I don't know. Maybe I just said that to Swinny directly. I can't remember. But yeah, no, that is the true asshole. That's the true.
Wow, you're such an asshole, Swinny. You should go make NFTs.
NFTs.
It's a next logical step in your asshole evolution.
Non-fungible NFTs. Anyway,
I'll come back next week with my new NFT.
So before jumping into this, Atari 50th beautiful celebration, so a couple of things that we've got to dive into a little bit. So the first is, what the hell is an NFT? So non-fungible token. The idea is a representation of something on the blockchain that can't be, removed and is ensured that it can be transferred to other people. The idea of that could be anything potentially, but at the moment, usually digital art.
It's almost like a digital receipt for something.
Yeah, and this is where, and maybe we'll just jump straight into our views on it. So, and maybe you guys should go first, because I'm probably going to have a contrary view too. So, but yeah, Mike, you love NFTs. Like, what do you think about all these companies offering NFTs?
I totally love them. I think, as someone who loves to see the world burn, and as someone who's totally 100% against humanity, freaking hate all of you guys. I think it's brilliant. I think it's the quickest, best way to kill us all off and do a global reset and let the animals roam around freely and do their thing without our intervention.
Let the apes take over with their.
So it's going to be Planet of the Apes.
So I'm totally pro NFTs from that perspective. Yeah, just let them do your thing. NFT this planet to hell. Seriously, I think it's fucking stupid and I hate it.
You guys heard about the Elden Ring NFT they're doing?
What?
No, I'm fucking with you. I just wanted to see your reaction.
I would have seen that in my searches yesterday.
Oh my god!
Unless it was announced an hour ago.
No, that's what I was trying to insinuate. It's just been announced. How about you, Swinny? What's your overall view of NFTs?
Okay, so look.
And how many do you own? How many have you gassed?
Gassed? That's a term now?
Yeah, that is a term. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Don't you know? Oh my god, you don't know the gas fees?
All right, so just speaking like a bit broad of an NFT, like just blockchain technology and the everything to do with that, right? I'm very ignorant or very much a novice in when it comes to anything to do with like the cryptocurrency side of the blockchain stuff and everything like that. So I'm just getting up front that anything I say is probably going to be wrong, right? Yep. But look, I don't discount new technology just because it hasn't found a good use case yet, right? So I don't think blockchain inherently is like a useless thing or it's a solution. At the moment, it's probably a solution. What is it? Like a solution looking for a problem kind of thing, people saying with NFTs. But blockchain technology in general, I could see that there's potential use cases you could use that even in the gaming side. I don't think we've seen it yet. a lot of the people that are talking about this at the moment, some of the best use cases I've heard, but it's something that just doesn't make sense from probably from a business standpoint, is things like decentralization of digital licenses for games. So I have a digital game, I could potentially share it in a, you know, in a marketplace with people, and you know, things like that. And that, who knows how the hell that,
And that would never happen in a billion years, but yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's use cases where I think it would make sense for the consumer or for the gamer. But at the moment, all the cases I've seen, and NFTs included, it doesn't feel like anything that can't be achieved through other means. And obviously, anything to do with blockchain or NFTs is loved by like shareholders, and you know, we've got some notes there about the fact that Square Enix talking about this earlier in the month. Their share price went up by like 8% or something. But to me, I haven't seen a use case that makes me go, oh, I actually, that makes sense to me yet. But I'm not discounting it. When it comes to anything to do with like this stuff we're about to get into with Atari, of course, it's this fucking terrible shit. But the technology itself, I'm not discounting.
Okay, interesting. So different.
No,
views.
by the way, I'm with Swinny. I don't inherently the blockchain, the idea behind blockchains and the idea behind the technology. I'm totally not discounting either. Well, it's utilizing a blockchain. It's
correct.
Yeah. So I'm not inherently against it at all. Much the same way that I'm not inherently against something like cryptocurrency. What I'm inherently totally against is the fact that it's completely, well, most of it, 99.9999% or whatever the hell you want to quantify it as, it's just speculation. And to Swinny's point, a lot of the applications are completely nonsensical, and it is absolutely just a solution looking for a problem, as opposed to, and what I think, if you strip it down a little bit more and you look at it from blockchains the way they originally were thought out, and the usage of those blockchains, I think you only need to really look at the fact that, number one, it's extremely costly to actually transact with the currency themselves at the moment, relatively speaking. Number two, it fluctuates way too much for now to still be usable as a proper currency in that sense. If I buy a cup of coffee now, I would like to know its inherent worth of $3 or $4 and not expect it to be $10 the next week or 50 cents the week after. And one of the other big issues that I have is, you know, in terms of market cap, the two, last time I checked, I don't know if this is still the same, Shibu and Doge were in the top 10, and they were both literally created as jokes. One of them, a joke of another joke. Now, if that is not the pinnacle of what a load of shit this entire thing is, and the fact that it's just speculation and people jumping on a bandwagon, I don't know what is. When people are literally jumping on the bandwagon of something that got purely created as a joke. Now, that's not to say it can't be used for other purposes, which and there are, you know, when you look at it from the perspective of cryptocurrency itself, there are really, really good use cases, and there are actual cryptocurrencies. Sorry, there's blockchains which have the associated cryptocurrency that are really freaking awesome, that are actually really practical, and would be really cool to actually see them being implemented. The problem is it's all overshadowed by this unnecessary bullshit that ultimately the biggest thing that I have against it is it just fucks the environment up. It's that we're literally contributing to the destruction of the species because of some fucking idiots that have a completely selfish interest in this whole thing, and then a whole bunch of other fucking idiots who are just sheep, let's face it, jumping on the bandwagon because they don't want to miss out. That's what it is. By and large, that is what it is. And the market is crazy manipulated by a bunch of individuals, and then everyone jumps on top of it. Everyone jumps on top of it without actually really seeing the inherent value in some of this stuff. And it is actually sad because some of this technology is freaking awesome. It's got a really cool use in the real world. It's been completely perverted by speculation. So that's where I stand on this whole thing. But
yeah, no, like, so there's a few different things there. I think, like, you know, the cryptocurrency, I'll probably like put that into a different category. That's kind of like a bit separate to what we're talking about. I think the environmental thing is the biggest problem with this whole space. And
that's my biggest issue.
I should also put like my cards on the table to a degree here, because I think it'd be unfair to the audience that, like, I actually ran and was involved in like a Bitcoin company a long time ago. So this is even way like back in the day. I've always been super interested in the space. I used to work at a pretty serious place. We were talking about Bitcoin internally in like 2010, right? So this is back when it was like $1, right? Bitcoin.
That's how he buys all his amiibos, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
All of you guys are wondering.
Exactly.
He's cashed it all
Yeah.
out. And
Well, back then, like in our apartment, we could like mine 1 Bitcoin a night on average, right? They're
Damn.
worth about 40 grand now US. So like, you know, I just want to put that out there because I think, you know, it's a context that's important from where people are coming from. But look, I think I'm surprised that like I think we're all rough. Like, you know, there's a spectrum here, and I'm more on the other side of it. But it's way closer than I was expecting. So, like, I think the execution of these NFTs it's funny to me. It's dumb. Like, honestly, like, you know, there was the Aboriginal flag, right? Recently has now come back into the Australian government's domain.
how much did we pay for it again?
There's a scholarship and all this other stuff that we've set up because stupidly we've got like an individual to make the flag and that became the flag. So then, you know, that individual owned that copyright. But how's this? Did you guys know this? He sold the digital rights to the flag on OpenSea. Right? So now there's this question of like, has the Australian government actually bought it all back? I mean, it's a legal question that is going to have to be discussed at some point. It's going to happen, 100%, right?
What is the moral... Anyway, then let's not get into
Yeah,
it.
park all that, right?
Yeah,
But all
all
I'm
that.
saying is like it introduces a whole raft of interesting issues. But fundamentally, though, like what underlies all of this stuff is, you know, the whole point of crypto at a very fundamental level is not having a controlling entity who owns the source of truth, having that decentralized, right? That's a massive change. That means that banks aren't as needed because, you know, they're all like trusted entities. So you deal with the trusted entity, right? If they fall over, it's like, oh shit, they're falling over, too bad. But if you have a decentralized way of doing that, you can actually have a lot more trust in the whole system because there is no one in particular you have to trust, right? Everything's public. So, like, I do think with time, these kind of things like smart contracts where you can, you know, sell and buy your house on a blockchain and remove all these middlemen in the process and all the cost that's involved and all the you know, the deceit and also like the drama that can happen in that space, right? I'm super excited about that. Now, bringing it to gaming, it's super disturbing to me what's happening in a way that people aren't, I think, seeing. And Sweeney brought it up a little bit earlier, but the whole drive of NFTs in general, man, the biggest thing that's going to start happening is this play to earn stuff. This is like where people are missing the forest from the trees. This play to earn stuff is going to be, in my prediction, like 5 years time, it's going to be like microtransactions. It is going to be so fucking massive. And that is going to be the driving force behind these economies. And it's going to be huge, Mike. Like, so this concept of being able to prove that I've played a game for like 150 hours and I've generated some kind of token in that world, and then I can transfer this token for some other digital item, skin or whatever, and then transfer it. And all of this stuff, by the way, is going to have secondary markets. And there's going to be people transferring like, you know, Call of Duty coins for, you know, Rainbow Six coins and all this other shit. That's all going to exist in 5 years' time.
So I was going to say, and that concept is real right now because Ubisoft Quartz is, I think it's Ghost Recon Breakpoint has something like that right now, where it's like 300-400 hours basically. It's don't think of
It
this
was
as
600 hours for the mask.
don't think of this as something that's too far in the future. It's happening right now.
No, but all I'm saying is it's like, you know, when I think it was Bethesda who were like the first people to really promote microtransactions with like horse armor, right? But you know, think about how much that's changed from then
How far
to
we've
now.
come.
You know what I mean? Like people thought it was quaint or something. Oh, it's just cosmetics, right?
We were sweet summer children back
Yeah.
then.
We were, man.
And that's where I think that the insidious part of this stuff is like, you know, it's almost, it will get to a point where it's like you have to earn. So you play to earn, but you might have to also, like, you know, play to earn, and then that will be the unlocking of more game. Do you know what I mean? So it's like
I know
you
what
have to
mean.
play the
I can
game,
accept what
prove
you're
that you
getting
play
to.
the game, and then actually be able to
Yeah.
play more of the game. It opens up
Yeah.
more of that universe in the
Because
game.
why
as
play a
well.
game for the joy of playing the game when you can play because you have to play it
Yeah,
to get
or
something?
you can
Yeah.
monetize
So,
the people. So
Maybe can I, because it's incredibly relevant, can I just bring up what Square Enix talked about?
yeah,
that
yeah,
specific
definitely.
thing?
Yeah, because
So,
we want to go through some of the examples of some stuff that's been happening recently.
so basically, back around New Year's, the CEO, Yosuke Matsuda, they pledged their support for NFTs, blockchain technology, and gaming and stuff. But I grabbed some quotes. Basically, he said, "I realize that some people who play to have fun and who currently form the majority of players have voiced their reservations towards these new trends. However, I believe that there will be a certain number of people whose motivation is to play to contribute, by which I mean help make the game more exciting." So, as you said, more content.
Bitch, please.
There's potential to enable a self-sustaining game growth by pushing a play-to-earn concept.
Yeah, it's
This is a CEO of Square Enix.
no, dude. Like,
Yosuke can go eat a giant bag of dicks.
because I'm a business person, right? I'm a businessman, and like, I can see bringing the community, bringing the gaming community into the process of actually like building out the game and locking them in, like in this way of them feeling like they've literally got investment in the game, is so powerful. Like, I've been reading a lot more about this whole play to earn, like the ideas and the future of it, potential future of it. I'm like, shit, this totally reminds me of microtransactions. It feels like microtransactions on steroids.
It is absolutely microtransactions.
Yeah.
It's the next evolution of. But that's the funny thing. You give someone a finger and they'll take your hand. You give someone a hand and they'll, I don't know what the expression is right now, they'll gobble your entire body. And it's exactly like that. That horse armor is brilliant because you knew from that was the genesis. That was Pandora's box being opened when it comes to this kind of bullshit. That all it was is slowly and slowly and slowly more and more of that. And I think, personally, if you really look at the bigger picture, all this bullshit does is it creates a society of slaves. No, it does. It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Of people who are hooked onto these games because these games are created with that in mind. They're created with the idea in mind that you need to spend your entire freaking existence in there, which is why you get quotes, and we'll talk about this in a sec as well. They keep referring to the metaverse. They keep referring to locking you into this virtual reality because fuck the real world. And you know what? It's gonna work. This is the problem. It's gonna work. When you look at the greater society from a bigger picture view, you have more and more people that cannot even afford their own housing. They're perpetually renting. That in itself, I think, is a form of being a slave in many instances when you can't even afford to have a proper roof above your head that you can actually call your own. And I think it's going to push more and more and more people that have to basically be part of the system, do exactly what they're told to do, because they have zero fucking choice. And those very same people will need escapes from that bullshit reality that they have to live through because the real world sucks, and it sucks even more for people like that. And they will resort to going into these virtual worlds, which is why I think, sadly, whether we like it or not, this bullshit metaverse is probably going to succeed. And stuff like this is going to flourish in a system like that. And you will basically earn whatever you can in your real world existence to put back into this bullshit. And it's sad. It's extremely sad. As someone who is so not into this kind of crap, I just find it such a bleak dystopian future for a lot of people. It really is.
It's like... I can't. Sorry, sweetie. It's hard for me to see how there's going to be a positive side of it, given what's happened with mobile gaming. Like there are people, like studios out there, who tried their fucking hardest to make a really decent mobile game. They release it, and there's some examples, right? And then no one gives a shit, right? Because the biggest mobile game is just fucking Candy Crush, and it's just like play,
bullshit.
but it's not. It's actually not mindless in a way. It's very active, like with giving you dopamine and getting you hooked, and then hitting walls and going, oh, sorry, you can't play now for no reason. It's just like you can't play now, but if you want to pay a little bit of money, you can play a little bit more, right? Like it's so like transparently predatory, so transparently predatory, right?
Perfectly legal, and people fall for it all the time.
And like I'm kind of on the same page as you. I'm not really like this normally, but I think this space is going to go down a very scary, dark path because there's going to be a bunch of people who are hooked in this stuff. And getting back to the play to earn stuff, and I saw someone comment on this, and I'm like, I always believe in hearing different voices, even ones that I don't agree with, because it, challenges your views. And someone was like, one of these Web3, you'll hear this a lot, right? Web3, NFT people. They're like, Microsoft has acquired Activision Blizzard. What people are missing is like $68 billion went to that company. But hey, the gamers should be getting some of that money, right? Like they should have had some ownership in the game, in the studio. And I'm like, fuck, this is where this play to earn shit's going to come in. They're going to create like an economy within the game that has like value of what people perceive. And yeah, maybe that will happen in the future. Maybe if someone tries to buy a studio, the players will get some benefit of that. It's very dark, man. And going back to one of the questions that we had, around like why blockchain and everything like that, it's because the companies, it's efficiency. The companies do not want to have like some crazy database where they all agree and transfer shit and everything. Fundamentally, they want to get to a platform where they all can like interact with each other because they want to, like the metaverse thing is going to happen, but it's going to be a land grab. Whoever wins, everyone will have to plug into their world. So blockchain's actually perfect for that stuff as an interim step. So
all I know is that when I did that feature on Roblox Gucci theme, the hellscape that I imagined in my head of like a Roblox community economy thing plus NFTs plus battle plus season passes.
Yeah.
Man, it's a dark potential future there. It's like that of Batman vs Superman when you see like the flash forwards to the apocalyptic world. That's
totally
what it looks like to me.
But like one thing, and I'm very optimistic in the long term, there'll be awesome studios churning out mad games. That's what's always happened, Like we've had this era of like microtransactions, battle passes, everything, and there's been amazing single player games being released, So it's still going to happen. There's still awesome multiplayer games. It's just there's going to be a huge dark community. And like, I don't know, we never cover mobile gaming. That's the biggest part of gaming by dollars and players. So,
that is, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what I find also interesting about all of this is I think there's a very small percentage of people that actively really want to do this thing, if that makes sense. From a really personal, passionate, they think it adds a real positive thing to it. I think if you look at all the individual players, it's kind of like I'm gonna equate it to a certain part of Germany back in the 30s, in the 1930s. Well, no, where people kind of just they didn't feel they had a choice at some point, because you work for a company like this. You have to, the shareholders that you have to contribute
critical
to.
mass.
There's money that you got to make. Shareholders don't even fucking understand the technology to even understand they just go, oh, there's money to be made in this. Perfect. You get yourself so deep into this shit that you can't even get out of it, that you have to keep digging that hole and going down this path more and more and more. That I think there's very few people who legitimately believe in the movement, and not so much believe in the movement, believe that it's got a positive outcome to the gaming industry. And anyone who says they are, I think they're just fucking full of shit. They're just trying to make money out of it.
So can I ask, do we even care about talking about the Atari GFT?
Let's do, because it's the point. I think we should. It's going to be a long segment, but we held for ages, so...
We've already gone into darkness, but we should just go through this quickly. So this is Atari's 50th anniversary, and this is how they've chosen to celebrate the 50th anniversary of a brand. This is like the first console I had, the Atari 2600, right? And then they've got the commemorative GFT Collection. I want to skip down to like the part where this is unbelievable, all the shit that they have. So as a joke, I was gonna buy Mike one of these GFTs, right, and send it to him to piss him off, right? Then I started to read in, because I tried to literally buy it, and I'm like, wait a second, I need to actually, and it goes down, and Swinny sent this to me, and I thought someone had made this to joke about the concept, but they've actually done it. That you need to get whitelisted on the store. It's already full. The whitelist is done. Like there's people.
I'll just say we mentioned it earlier, but GFTs basically it's NFTs you can gift other people they don't know what's in there. I just wanted to re-clarify that. So
yeah, and to be fair, they've actually published the rarity table. I think it's a part of the smart contract to be able to distribute it. But yeah, so you have to get on this whitelist. Then there's going to be get your GFTs. GFTs will be available to buy for a lucky friend or for yourself. Then there's the GFT reveal, where they'll unwrap on a special date. You can chat in the private Discord and trade with other holders. This is some dark shit, man. It's just unbelievable. So I didn't even understand all this shit that was happening. I don't even think they necessarily understand. But you've got the Atari CEO, Wade Rosen. So quote, the Atari brand is synonymous with video games and video gaming in the backbone of the metaverse. What better way to commemorate Atari's 50th anniversary than by ushering in a new era of technological innovation while also honoring the brand that launched the modern video game industry? Question mark.
Can I just say something real quick? May I just interject real quickly?
Yeah.
Hey, Wade Rosen, can you kindly go sit on a pineapple and twist, you fucker?
So I included this thing because we talked about it. We had it in like Minute Mike or something, right?
Yeah.
Where back in October is when the CEO started, and it made a point back then to say that they're pivoting because Atari's been doing all this crazy shit for ages, right?
Yeah.
They're pivoting back to a focus on video game development. Nice pivot there. You pivoted 360.
Beautiful pivot. It was literally a 360 pivot, yeah. And what's with pivoting? It's a new corporate fucking buzzword.
Pivot's a great word.
Pivot's awesome.
Yeah, but dude, it's
Pivot is awesome.
no,
after
but
my pivot.
everyone uses it. Oh my god,
Pivot is not a new word, Mike.
It's not a new word, but it is absolutely overused. It wasn't two plus years ago.
All right.
Very few people were using it.
Anyway.
Now every single person's using the word.
All
We
right,
got to
all
pivot our
right.
strategy. Oh, we got to pivot this.
So mixed views amongst us around NFTs. Probably not. It sounds like all of us are not fans of the current incarnation.
No thanks.
Oh, no.
I do think there could be something interesting with it, but I think there's going to be a lot of darkness, in the short term to medium term. And my view would be there's going to be one or two or even three publishers, not studios, publishers that go hard in this space, and it's like basically
Ubisoft.
they're going to be lost to me. You know what I mean? Like imagine this
Oh,
whole
Ubisoft are dead to me. Yeah.
Well, imagine play to earn in the Assassin's Creed Infinite or whatever it's going to be called.
I'm just waiting for like
Jesus.
Take-Two to jump into it and
Yeah.
all these publishers. It's
Activision, but
GTA
Microsoft
6
might have a word
online
about that.
play to earn. Like it's just
I hope not. Come on,
really see how
Rockstar.
this shit's gonna go.
It's,
But all right, well, we finally covered NFTs. Hopefully, we don't cover it again. And I'm sure. Let's be real. Like the villain of the year by the end of the year, I'm calling it early. It's going to be NFTs, surely.
Oh yeah,
I
Wade
can't even
Rosen is
We're
the
one-
villain behind the villainous
We're 1
things
month
of the
in,
year.
but it's going to be hard to topple that. We know.
Jesus.
Commemorating the 50th anniversary of Atari for GFTs, loot box NFTs. It's unfucking believable.
Dude, it's so unbelievable. It's so comical that I'm like, is this a joke?
Is this real life?
Is this actually real?
It's Atari.
But like,
Atari.
are they just? Is this a big gag as a joke or
I don't
something?
know. I don't know. It's funny. All right. Well, that wraps up the news. But the way we like to wrap up the news is